Princess Mary, Princess Royal, and Princess of Orange was the first Princess Royal. She was the eldest daughter of King Charles I of England and Henrietta Maria of France. She was born on the 4th of November 1631 at St. James's Palace and was baptised soon after birth due to her poor health. She had 8 siblings, but only Charles, James, Henry and Henrietta survived adulthood. Mary grew up in St. James's Palace, Richmond Palace and Hampton Court. Mary and her sisters were educated by the Countess of Roxburgh. Mary was talented in dancing and was graceful and polite. Her mother wanted her children to be brought up Catholic, and she attempted to introduce Mary to the faith, but this was stopped by her father. When Mary was 8 years old, she received her first marriage proposal from William of Nassau, the future William II, Prince of Orange. Her father rejected the offer as he wanted to marry Mary to Balthazar Charles, Prince of Asturias. In order for this marriage to take place, Mary would need to convert to Catholicism, which she refused, and her mother was anti-Spanish and against this alliance. Another proposal from Charles I Louis, Elector Palatinate, also fell through. During the 1630s and 1640s, tensions grew amongst the different factions in England over religion, morality and politics. Mary's mother, who was Catholic, became more unpopular due to this fact. Around 1640, King Charles I renewed negotiations with William. Charles hoped that the Dutch royals would help to maintain royal power in England in the event of an uprising. The prince and princess were wed on the 2nd of May 1641 at the Chapel Royal in Whitehall Palace. After the ceremony, William returned to the Netherlands, while Mary remained in England. Under the marriage contract, William would provide her with an income, and that Mary could still worship in the faith of the Church of England. In the event of his untimely death, Mary would receive an allowance of 10,000 livres a year and 2 residences for her use. In 1642, Mary and her family fled to Hampton Court, as the situation in England worsened. In February, the Queen and Mary left for the Netherlands. That same year, Mary was named Princess Royal by her father. Henrietta Maria persuaded the Dutch government to provide a ship and arms for Charles in 1643. In November 1643, Mary and William had a second marriage ceremony. Mary worried for her father, and in December 1646 she urged him to flee to the Netherlands, which he refused. Mary grew close to her aunt Elizabeth, the exiled former Queen of Bohemia, but had a cold relationship with her mother-in-law Amalia, whom she avoided. On the 14th of March 1647, Prince Frederick Henry of Orange died, and Mary's husband became the Prince of Orange, with Mary as Princess of Orange. In 1649, Mary's father was executed, and she helped many English royals and royalists flee. In 1647, Mary suffered a miscarriage and had difficulty conceiving again until 1650, when she gave birth to a son named William. He was born 8 days after his father's death and on Mary's 19th birthday. As the titles of Stadtholder of the Netherlands and Prince of Orange were not inheritable, William did not receive the titles immediately. Mary wanted to name her son Charles, but her mother-in-law wanted to name him William, as did Mary's husband. Amalia also wished to be the child's legal guardian. The Supreme Court ruled that guardianship would be shared between Mary, her mother-in-law, and William II's brother-in-law, Frederick William, Elector of Brandenburg, as a neutral party. Mary was not popular in the Netherlands, which was sympathetic to the causes of Oliver Cromwell. They forbade her to accept any of her English relatives at court after she accepted her brother Charles in 1651. In 1652, Mary's son was officially elected as Stadtholder of Zeeland and eventually the rest of the Netherlands. In the Netherlands, Mary received numerous marriage proposals, but she turned all of them down. In 1658, her mother-in-law attempted to gain the post of sole regent for her grandson, but Mary, along with the Supreme Court, thwarted Amalia. In May 1660, Mary learned that the English monarchy had been restored and the ascension of her brother Charles as king. Her restored status as an English princess helped the Dutch public to grow more tolerant towards her. In September 1660, Mary sailed to England, where she discovered that her brother Charles had recognised the marriage of her brother James to Anne Hyde, and that any children of that marriage would be princes and princesses of England with succession rights. This upset Mary, and she cut her trip short. That same month, her brother Henry died of smallpox. In December of that year, Mary also fell ill with smallpox. Her mother rushed to her bedside and attempted to convert her to Catholicism, but Mary refused. The Queen persuaded her to use her French doctor, which proved fatal to Mary, as the doctor was a supporter of bloodletting. Mary signed her will on the 24th of December 1660 and died that same day. Mary asked her brother Charles to protect her son's interests. His guardian now was his grandmother Amalia.